This evening, let's explore medicinal meditation. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This evening we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Ahsoka Tano on Lothal, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. If at any point during this evening's live stream you have a question about meditation or philosophy or even chanting, do not be shy. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Unless, of course, you're watching a replay, then you want to type your question in the comment area below the video. Okay, let's get it on. He told me of the more than 9 years he spent on meditative retreats and of his frustrated search to receive the teachings from a very unusual, for a very usual form of powa, or forceful transference of consciousness, that would allow his mind to enter others' bodies that he might better diagnose and heal them. Weeks elapsed, and then during last night's meditation, a hack or workaround gently dawned on me. The brainstorm returned to me this morning as I was setting up for my morning live stream. It felt like it demanded to be recorded as a sadhana or spiritual practice. It was composed during the 25 minutes I thought I would prepare for class, and edited rather slapdash as I led the practice online. Number 1, open the practice by chanting the recitations of bodhicitta, refuge, as well as calling the Lama from afar, and perform the 5 following exercises, 16 rounds each. Train in mindfulness and meditation by mounting the slogans, "Notice this, relaxing," upon your respective inhalations and exhalations. 3, contemplate the non-duality slogans, they and me, how not to. Return to mindfulness and meditation. Contemplate the love slogans, profound health, now for all. And 6, return again to mindfulness and meditation. As your stamina builds, the cycle of exercises 3 through 6 could be repeated for 2, 4, or even 8 sets. Seal the practice by chanting the 4 immeasurables. Repeat these 8 steps every 12 hours, and you too could meditate like a Jedi. Well, I recorded this about a week ago. We're not going to be practicing this tonight. In fact, instead tonight we're going to practice a Tibetan version of the heart sutra practice. So, quick like a bunny, I'm going to tap button 6, and for the next 15 seconds, take care of housekeeping. If there are lessons you'd like to request, or if you simply wish to support the continued availability of these classes, there is a Patreon link in the description area below the video. Remember to type your questions in the chat window when they occur to you. Just my only request is that your questions be specific. I really can't help it, folks who reach out to me with vagaries. Okay, let's hit the ground running. Just like the Van Halen song, Unchained. Let's begin by chanting Let's begin by performing recitations of refuge and bodhicitta. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment. Go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment. Go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings until we achieve enlightenment. Go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Through the virtues I collect by giving another perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving another perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues I collect by giving another perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Namo Guru, Teacher, Blessed One, the Great Mother Prajnaparamita, surrounded by your sons the Buddhas of the 10 directions and all Bodhisattvas. I prostrate to this assembly, make offerings and go for refuge. Please empower me with your blessings. Namo Guru, Teacher, Blessed One, and the Great Mother Prajnaparamita, surrounded by your sons the Buddhas of the 10 directions and all Bodhisattvas. I prostrate to this assembly, make offerings and go for refuge. Please empower me with your blessings. Namo Guru, Teacher, Blessed One, and the Great Mother Prajnaparamita, surrounded by your sons the Buddhas of the 10 directions and all Bodhisattvas. I prostrate to this assembly, make offerings and go for refuge. Please empower me with your blessings. And just for shits and giggles, one more vowel. I want to just verify that the display is still synchronized. Now it's time for the heart of the perfection of wisdom. Essence of the perfection of wisdom, Bhagavati Prajnaparamita, Amashu, the perfection of wisdom, the Blessed Mother. Thus I have heard it one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha, on Master Vulture's mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. Let me stop right here just for a moment. This was introduced to me close to 30 years ago. And when I was told by my teacher, Genwang Mo, that this could help to pacify obstructions, I was curious, but not necessarily sold. I'm really big on the empirical process, so I did an experiment. When me and my then wife went on our honeymoon to Disneyland, I was in an electric wheelchair, and the first day there, crowds just mauled me. I mean, people would walk by and, unconsciously, without malice, knock me in the head with their purse or their elbow or their backpack. That was really rough on me. So the next morning, I performed this practice, and the next day at the park, everything was smooth, like a knife through butter. The day after that, I didn't use it, and I was getting manhandled again. And so I found that this practice was somewhat reminiscent of an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where they found a toy that seemed to affect people's good luck. Now, do I know that this is what that is what this does? No. It's a fun practice, and it's kind of fun to play with and notice how it affects you. My intention is to post this for a free download, if not tonight, then tomorrow after tomorrow morning's class. Let's continue. At that time, the Blessed was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, looking perfectly at the emptiness of inherent existence also of the five aggregates. And then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra, said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a son of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, in the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whatever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the profound practice of the perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence also of the five aggregates. So what does this mean, this whole emptiness business? We'll get to that in just a minute. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. So I think I'm going to move this teaching tool to the previous page because I think that would be more beneficial. So let's do that right now. All right, let's verify that the display is still synchronized. Wonderful. Okay, so what's this emptiness business? There's two ways we can view emptiness, literally or figuratively. If we are stuck in rigidity, we're going to more prone to assume everything's literal around us. The problem with taking emptiness literally is that it results in two dead ends, either superstition or skullduggery, neither of which is beneficial. Remember, the Buddha taught full enlightenment was attainable within a week. You can get a PhD within a week. Therefore, any method that requires you getting a Geshe degree or a Kenpo degree or a Doctor of Divinity is sprinting in the wrong direction. So, if this is figurative, how could it play out? To understand that, we have to figure out what's the concise way of practicing mindfulness and meditation. The easiest way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite "Notice this" during each inhalation, and then to mentally recite "Relaxing" during each exhalation. Why would you do that? Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we access our sympathetic nervous system, which is wired for sensory acuity, allowing us to notice the external and the internal, the physical and the mental, the pleasurable and the painful, the interesting and the boring, the glorious and the grotesque. That's me looking grotesque. Frightening, is it not? When we perform this mindfulness vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and spontaneously, we soon discover that the only label we need ever use is simply the pronoun this. But what are we to do with all this stuff that we notice? every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are accessing our parasympathetic nervous system, which is wired for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. It could help us to release our habitual resistance to the presence of that which we hate, our resistance to the absence of that which we crave, our resistance to the loss of that to which we cling. So here's the cool thing. We are already wired. Every healthy mammal, every healthy primate is already wired to master meditation, to master mindfulness and meditation. So here's the cool thing. During every exhalation, we are already wired to so relax that whatever we noticed previously during our inhalation can now feel as if it was as non-graspable, wait for it, as a vast, empty void. Now, what's a real-world example of a non-graspable, vast, empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky and a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is intangible to the hand. And there you have it. We are wired for mindfulness and meditation. When we allow our intention to be in harmony with our wiring of the autonomic nervous system, whatever we notice during the inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void whenever we exhale and relax. That's what emptiness means. Whatever we perceive, we can let go of when we are in harmony with our built-in wiring, our factory installed programming, if you will. Now let's continue with our chanting. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form also is not other than emptiness. Likewise, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are merely empty, having no characteristics. They are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition, no factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mentality, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no tactile object, no phenomena. There is no eye element and so forth, up to no mentality element, and also up to no element of mental consciousness. So when we say no, what we're saying is there is no I element that, once perceived, cannot be released. Because this only makes sense when you take it in context. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so forth, up to no aging and death, and no exhaustion of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, origin, cessation, or path, no exalted awareness, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely upon and abide in the perfection of wisdom. Their minds have no obstructions and no fear. Let's really focus in here. Their minds have no obstructions that, once noticed, cannot be released. They have no fear that, once noticed, cannot be released. So they still have fears, but they can notice them and let go of them. That's the message here. Passing utterly beyond perversity, they attain the final nirvana. Also all the Buddhas who reside perfectly in the three times, having relied upon the perfection of wisdom, became manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequal mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tadyata ungate gate pada gate pada samgate bodhisoha. The key to pronouncing anything in the Sanskrit is as follows. Pronounce the consonants like they're English and the vowels like they're Espanol, or Latin, or Italian, whatever floats your boat. Shariputra Bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like this. And then the Blessed One arose from the concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, that he had spoken, well, good, O son of the lineage. It is like that, since it is like that, just as you have revealed. In that way, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and that entire circle of disciples as well as the worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, and spirits were delighted and highly praised what had been spoken of by the Blessed One. There are many translations of this sutra. This is a very stylized one. Oh, that's just silly. Here we go. All right. Going to verify once again that we are still in sync, because sometimes OBS, my streaming software, gets tricky. So we've already explored how to practice the essence of mindfulness and meditation. So now let's marry mantra recitation with 4 contemplations. Here's how. During the first inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the rhetorical question, how could this, or whatever you want to put in the blank, pain, fatigue, anger, whatever, how could this feel stressful? And then we'll chant this mantra, possibly up to 4 times, while relaxing as best you can. If this is your first time, please give yourself permission to have a learning curve. It's 23 minutes after the hour. Let's boogie. Gani Dom, Gani Gani Mara, Gani Marazum, Gani Buriso, Gani Dom, Gani Gani Mara, Gani Marazum, Gani Buriso, Gani Dom, Gani Gani Mara, Gani Marazum, Gani Buriso, Gani Dom, Gani Gani Mara, Gani Marazum, Gani Buriso. The second contemplation trains us in compassion. All beings fill in the blank. All beings stress. May I soothe. We don't have to visualize. We don't have to believe. We don't have to emote. All we do is play with these words in harmony with our breathing. We will evolve. Tadyadom, Yanning on the Manning on the Madison Gadi Buri, so what had yet om, Yanning on the Barang Gadi Badison Gadi Buri, so what had yet om, Yanning on the Barang Gadi Badison Gadi Buri, so what had yet om, Yanning on the Barang Gadi Badison Gadi Buri, so what. We come to our third exercise. It's also a rhetorical question. How could this never last? And as such, we train in impermanence. Tadyata om, yanning ane marang ane marasum gadi bari suwadadyata om, yanning ane marang ane marasum gadi bari suwadadyata om, yanning ane marang ane marasum gadi bari suwadadyata om, yanning ane marang ane marasum gadi bari suwadadyata. Our fourth and final contemplation, how could this not be me, is an elegant way to train in emptiness or selflessness. Tadyata om, gadingane marangane marasum gadi bariso tadyata om, gadingane marangane marasum gadi bariso tadyata om, gadingane marangane marasum gadi bariso tadyata om. So let's do this run through 7 more times. Dadyado, yanning on the marang and the marasum gani buri so what then you do, yanning on the marang and the marasum gani buri so what then you do, yanning on the marang and the marasum gani buri so what then you do, yanning on the marang and the marasum gani buri so what. Tadyato, Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu, what did you do? Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu, what did you do? Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu, what did you do? Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu. Dadyado, Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu, what did you do? Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu, what did you do? Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu, what did you do? Ganigane Maragane Marasum Gani Burisu. Dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu. Dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu. Dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu. Dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu, dadyata om, ganingane maragane marasum gani burisu. Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Daryato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Yato Om Ganingana Maragana Marasmgari Burisawada Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Danyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Wadanyata Om Ganingane Maragane Marasmgani Buriso Having blended mantra recitation with contemplation, let us now rest the mind in the non-graspable nature of awareness. And remember, if you have any questions, simply type them in the chat window. Oh, I forgot something. Before we do the silent meditation, Great Mother Parashnaparamita and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, through the power of your blessings, may these true words of mine be achieved. Just as we've opened by contemplating the profound meaning of the perfection of wisdom and reciting its words, Indra became all the home of martyrs, non-humans, and so forth. In the same way, by my contemplating the profound meaning of the perfection of wisdom and reciting its words, may all the home of martyrs, non-humans, and so forth be overcome. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. May they be thoroughly pacified. Let's seal the practice with 3 sets of chants. The first one is for the pacification of hindrances. May all kinds of interferences, diseases, and possessing spirits be pacified. May I be separated from unfavorable condition. Take 2. May I be separated from unfavorable conditions, and may I experience favorable conditions and everything excellent. Through this fortune may there be at this time happiness and health. Our second set of chants is for the ethics of kindness. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness flow spontaneous and uncontrived. And let's conclude with the 4 immeasurables. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness, may everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel I have earned it, type something in the chat window, give this live stream a thumbs up, and share it on social media. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, we could explore the Buddha's arrow discourse, as well as chant and meditate some more. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.